What's up? I'm KB Brookins, author of the memoir Pretty, and I am going to be eating some Vegas barbecue and trying out some spicy barbecue sauces. So I'm eating smoked brisket today, and my qualities of good smoked brisket means juiciness. All right, I'd like it to have a flick to it when I do this. It doesn't have to be fall off the bone. I find that to be very gimmicky. It just has to taste well seasoned. So this, I definitely can tell they salted it. I do like the taste of it, and would probably call it by itself a 6 out of 10. I wouldn't necessarily say I have high standards for barbecue, but I am a barbecue connoisseur from the age of 4 until today, right? I was eating barbecue before it was even technically something I should be eating. And so I've tried a lot of barbecue throughout my lifetime. And I think that I have had a hard time finding my particular taste of barbecue, which is fatty brisket, which is ribs with a little jiggle in them as well. And I am really big on it needs to taste good even without barbecue sauce. And things haven't always been in that vein. Now, I've gotten edible barbecue, you know what I mean? But it doesn't all have the zhuzh that I like. I'm also from Texas, so that's a specific style of barbecue, which is different than Vegas, which is different than St. Louis, so on and so forth. So I would say it's been a mixed bag. In Vegas, in the 9 months or so that I've been here, I've been really focusing on giving myself permission to be a writer, because for so much of my literary career, I've been a writer slash teacher slash editor slash community organizer slash literary program. I've always had all of these hats, right? And while I've been here, I've been trying to say I'm gonna write every day no matter what, right? I'm gonna give some time to my writing, and I'm gonna take full advantage of this experience that I've been given, which is really amazing to be a writer before anything else. So I've seen my work develop a lot just through habit, right? It's silly, but I kind of forgot for a while, okay, the best way to get better at writing is to just be writing regularly, and reading regularly too. So I have a pretty strict, okay, no matter what happens in my day, I have to read something, I have to write something. And I've seen that, create leaps and bounds in my ability to write, not just poetry, but creative nonfiction and fiction as well. So the first sauce I'm gonna try is a mustard-based sauce. It just means that it's used mustard as its base for the barbecue sauce. It is not at all spicy, but as we go along here, it'll get more progressively spicy, and you will see me get progressively more freaked out. But let's start here. I definitely taste the mustard. It's not spicy at all, which is great for me, a person that can't traditionally handle spice. I think my kind of favorite barbecue sauces are usually ketchup based, but a mustard based sauce doesn't offend me. It's just more tart. My revision process, I think, consists of me writing the first draft as if no one is ever gonna read it. I try to stay in that headspace for as long as possible when I'm in first draft mode. So that means typos be damned, editing be damned. I'm just trying to have fun, right? And try out all of the possible ideas that I could bring to a piece. And then once I get to a second draft, that's when I start reading it out loud and looking for impurities grammar and punctuation. And then that's also when I maybe add the sauce, in the sense of okay, I went this direction, but what if I change that direction entirely, right? So the second draft is when I get to kind of try out my silly ideas and just kind of see what happens. So this is a sweet sauce, and it is slightly spicier than this mustard-based sauce. It's definitely sugary. I like it. It's probably my favorite out of the two of them. And there are a lot of sweet, I would say sweet sauces are probably the most popular one. You think of your Sweet Baby Ray's and those types of sauces. I would say it's also the like most popular kind of sauce, like where I'm from, because there are like tart sauces and sweet sauces. So it just depends on like what flavor you're looking for from your barbecue. When I think of the Texas writing that I like most and the Texas writing that I do, I think of writing that is so enmeshed in the particulars of like Texas politics and culture. Texas is a very historied place. Texas is a very complex politically place. And I think a thing that I really love about being from Texas is just such the vast cultural experiences that people have depending on where they are. The thing that I most love about Texas writing is the writing that like sits in the complexity, right? And then also the writing that makes me feel like I'm listening to someone that I've like met and loved before. So the y'all of it all, right? And then also like the other kind of like idioms, right, that you might see in the region. But I really try to wear like where I'm from, even though I have like complex feelings about it, right? I try to wear it on the ways that I speak in my work, the landscapes that I depict, and have a real, even when I'm critiquing it, right, like reverence for the place and the people that come from that place. So this next sauce is original Arkansas sauce. I am very interested to see what it's about to give. I think it might be a little vinegary. And it is still sweet, which I'm happy because I was like, I don't know, this looks like it might be super spicy, but I would say it's more on the sweet side. But it's probably a vinegar-ish base sauce. I feel like my perfect marrying of taste when it comes to barbecue is sweet and salty. So if I can have both of those at the same time, then I'm happy. Sweet and salty. I mean, that's probably the best way to describe it truly, because I have, you know, some really hard things that I talk about, some things that like are upsetting, right? Um, like, you know, chronicles of growing up with within a very religious family, right? And being queer and trans, and that being not necessarily welcomed in my family. I also talk about, you know, ways in which I've been exposed to masculinities that have been harmful. I talk about ways that I have been harmful, right? In that like kind of journey to learning what a healthy masculinity looks like. Um, but then I also like undercut things with jokes, right? We have to laugh to keep from crying sometimes. So I have my jokes in there. I have my happy moments in there too, like getting gender affirming care and what that's done for me as a trans person. So I mix intentionally in this memoir like the good things and the not so good things, to really show a whole life, right? Because all of our lives are like mixed with, you know, those bad things and those good things, and then also like the lessons we've learned from those experiences. So this next sauce is Carolina vinegar. We shall see what it gives. Actually looks kind of like soupy a little bit. Okay, there we go. The spice is kicking up. I think vinegar-based sauces do definitely veer towards being spicy because vinegar already is this kind of like acidic flavor. So it makes sense to meld like, you know, spice with a more acidic feel. Well, it's surely cheaper, right? So paperbacks are literally just cheaper than hardbacks, right? So instead of, I think it was $26, now it's $19. And then you also have the flavorfulness of additional blurbs that I've gotten, since it definitely has that flavor of like multiple more people telling you to go check it out. And also I just appreciate that like the design has changed, right? Love my original cover. This is a totally different cover and a different kind of color palette. You know, a book surely is like a snapshot in time for like, oh, this is how I felt about these things at this time. It also feels like a snapshot of like me as a writer, where it's like, KB, these are the kind of literary heights that you climbed at this time. So I feel like with this new paperback coming out now, like I wrote most of this book in 2022, right? It came out in 2024, and here we are in 2026 with the paperback. So it's been, some time since writing it, and I think now, right, with my 2026 eyes, it can be so easy to be like critical, right? Like, oh, I would have did this differently, so on and so forth. But what I've been really trying to do is honor 2022 KB for like getting it written, right? And writing down these experiences and really centering my voice with some of the things that have happened and some of the things that I've written about in Pretty. It was kind of my first time, like the actual process of writing it down, like my first time of really acknowledging how I felt, right, during the events of these things happening. I'm really excited to continue to build, right, on these stories in my current writing, and also excited to honor these stories that I was brave enough to put out and put to paper 4 years ago now. Let's do it, right? So this one, can't believe we've made it this far, is the spicy sauce. Yep. It's definitely spicy. But I'm telling myself I can handle it. Now this last sauce, I am a little scared of. But this sauce I can do. I can still at least even taste some of the sweetness in this spicy sauce. So at Santa Clara, I'll be teaching creative writing more broadly. Definitely we'll have some creative nonfiction in there. But I also teach poetry. I also teach new forms of creative writing. So lots of folks consider Pretty to be like a kind of hybrid genre book because it oscillates between prose and poetry. And I have a real commitment to hybridizing my work, and so I'll bring kind of those experiences amongst others to my new forms teaching. So yeah, it's really been a journey of me following my interests and trusting that the people that I bring those interests to will receive them warmly, and then also making adjustments for making sure that the classroom feels like something that anybody who walks into the door feels like the classroom was made for them. I suppose we are ready for the final sauce. So this one, what is it? Damn hot or something? So this one is the damn hot sauce. Y'all see it on camera. If something happens to me, you know it was this sauce. Okay. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but I do need water. This sauce, I can see the peppers in there. And generally, I'm not like a spicy barbecue person, but I understand why people are. It's like, I feel right now the spices as well as the saltiness of the meat, as well as like the feel, literally like the feel of spice in my mouth. Very interesting. I am right now, I finished actually a new draft of a poetry collection while I've been here. I'm really hoping to sell that. I have another memoir that I'm working on. I hope to continue to work on it, make it better. Something that is a snapshot of 2026 KB. Otherwise, I'm trying to stay alive after eating this spicy barbecue sauce, and trying to wrap up my time in Vegas just with good people and having good experiences with the BMI team. I think this is my favorite because I like a sweet sauce. This one was actually not bad, so maybe I would make that my second one. The mustard would be the third. This would be the fourth. The Arkansas, the vinegar one here, and this spicy one I'll probably never try again. So that's my ranking. This is KB Brookins. Thank you so much for joining me for this barbecue conversation. Hit me up on the interwebs, Earth2KB everywhere, and get you a copy of Pretty wherever books are sold. Peace.